everyone, and welcome to this Blender tutorial. In this video, I'll walk you through the process of creating a VFX shot using Blender. We will cover camera tracking, scene orientation, rigid body simulation, and lighting. So if you're new to Blender VFX, this tutorial is for you. Also, this video is just inspired by this, so let's get started. Now, this is the video we are going to track. So before we track the footage, we have to convert this one into image sequence. And for that, I'm not going to use Blender. I'm going to use this free studio software. It's free. So you just select your video and drag it here. And if you want to extract all the frames, choose every frames and convert them all. And locate to where you have the files, and I'm going to copy the address test, and let's go to Blender. So here we are in new scene. I'm going to delete everything, and here I'll go to VFX and motion tracking. Click on open and locate where you save your image sequence. Make sure you are in name, sorted by name, so that it will start from frame 1. So press A, select everything and open clip. Now here we need to set the scene frames, and it will match the exact where our video ends. Now let's prefetch the video, prefetch, and this will load the video to memory so that it will give faster preview. That's best. Now let's go and track the camera. So to track the camera, I'm going to here for the motion model, I'm going to choose location and scale, because if you look at this video, the camera is moving forward, and while the camera is moving forward, that is location. And when the camera is moving forward, you can see this one is also scaling. That means it is moving towards the camera. That means it is scaling, because from here the size is small, but when it's moving towards the camera, it will become big. That means we have to track location and scale. There's no rotation here, so we need only location and scale. So I'm going to do this one and match previous frame and normalize the light. So now let's detect features, and here I'm going to track forward. Done. And I'm going to at the end of the frame, I'm going to detect features again, and this one I'll track it backwards. That's good. Now let's go to frame 100, and I need more tracking points, so I'll go and detect features again on here and track forward. I'll go there and track it backwards, so it will track forward and backwards. This one is good. So I still need more points in the scene, the tracking market, so that the camera track will get better. So I'm going to use D. So if you hold D, and you can draw this circle line around this here, and I'm going to detect features again. This, if you click on this, you can choose inside the annotated area, and I'm going to choose the distance to 5. Now I'll track forward. When you go to view and you click on this minus icon, it will delete that one. And I'm going to draw another one here. So if you hold D and draw another one at this area and detect features. So now track forward. So you need to take a place where you can track and draw this annotated detect features at that point and track forward. This will give your scene more tracking points, so that the camera will track very well. Now we are done with the tracking. So when you see this one, you can see some of the tracking markers are moving randomly, like this one. So we can just delete that one from the scene. Also this one too, you can delete it. So without doing anything again, let's go to solve and leave the default settings, and let's solve the camera motion, and let's see what error we will get. We got an error of 45.50. That's very high. So when you go to our graph here and go to track, you can see which one has the most error. Like this, let's delete this one, it couldn't solve, so I'm going to delete all of them. You can see this one has average error of 75, so we can delete those high errors. Now, so let's solve the camera motion again. Here we get error of 13.03, so we need to do more so that the tracking will look better. So what I'm going to do is, because of our camera have better tracking from frame 100 going, I'm going to choose frame 100 as our keyframe A, and a keyframe B is our best track, which is I'm going to choose frame 200 for keyframe B, and I'll choose focal length, and let's solve the camera motion again. Now here you can see it has reduced to 2.37. Yes, that's nice, but we need to do more. So here I'll go to the cleanup, and I'm going to click on clean tracks, and for the projection error, let me choose 2, and it will highlight. You see it has highlight more, so I'm going to choose 4. Okay, let's choose 5 and choose delete tracks. And now I'm going to solve the camera motion again. Now I get around 0.55. We can do more and clean tracks, so we go there and let's deselect everything and clean tracks 1.5, and let's delete tracks, and let's solve camera motion again. We can still go and do more tracking, so here I'll choose 1. So now 0.35 is good, so let's go to the solve here, and I'm going to click on set scene and set background. Now we'll have this tracking scene here, and we have our video as a background, and we have this ground plane and this cube. Now I'm going to select 3 tracking points here and set it as a floor. So I'm going to select this and maybe this, okay, this and this, and we go here and I'll set this as floor, and I'll select this, and let's set one as origin. Okay, this is good. The scale is very good. I don't want to use here for the scale. I just want to select this and scale it on the scene. Let's go back to the layout here and press numpad 0 to go to camera view. Now you can see when you move the camera, it seems that the cube is also moving, or the plane is also moving. It's not sticking to the ground. We have a way to fix this, so let's not bother. So let's go to here and click on motion track. This will bring our tracking to the scene here. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hide this cube, and I'm going to align this plane to align with the camera. So now from here you can see from the camera view the plane has orientated well with the camera. So let's go to here, the scene, and now we can see how the camera has rotated and the plane. If you try to add something to the scene, it will tend to rotate somewhere else like this. You can see the rotation is very bad, it's not much well. So let's see how we can fix that. I'm going to select the camera and also shift. So we select the camera and shift select the plane, and here we can use the scene to align the plane to the floor. Now you can see we have aligned the plane to align well with to our 3D scene. So still when you go to our camera view, the plane has still matched well. So here when you go and shift add cube to the scene here, you can see it has better aligned to our scene, and it also stick to the scene, so that's pretty good. So when you go here, we can hide the tracking markers. Now let's move out. We can add the CGI element into our scene. So here I'm going to create a new collection and call it shopping cart. So this cart, and I'm going to import the cart I just downloaded from Sketchfab. So it is in GLB file format. It has just imported, but you can see it has parented to an empty object. So I'm going to press Alt+P and clear and keep transformation. Here I'll just delete this empties and left it only this 4. Then I'm going to join this together, so we have this as one object. You can see it's very big, so I'm going to scale it to the scene, and here we can scale our ground plane. Now let's go to the animation. For the animation, first I'll go to frame 6 and I'll press I to insert key on scale only, and I'll go to frame 1 and press S, and this I'll scale it 0, and insert key and scale it, and insert key on scale as is only. Here you can see only the scale we have. So when you play the animation, you can see it just pop up like this. And for now, I'll select the basket again and the shopping cart. Let's go to physics, and here I'm going to add rigid body to it. Since we don't give it location, we can place it anywhere we want, and it will just start from that point, you see. But when we give it a scale, it won't work because we already have a scale value here, but we can place it anywhere we want and it won't affect or rotate it. So that means I have to insert key on scale only. So here I'm going to give it a rigid body, and for this plane I'm going to give it also a rigid body, and I'll set this one as a passive. Now for this, I'm going to apply the scale for the plane object, and for this cut I'm going to apply the scale. Now this is what I'm going to do again. Since this one has a, the cut has a no keyframe, I can place it anywhere I want. On frame 1 I can place it anywhere I want, but for here I'm going to go to frame 5, and I'm going to, on frame 6 I'm going to insert key for its animated. On the rigid body I'm going to insert key on animated here, and I'll not give it a value, and I'll go back to frame 5 and I'll insert key, it is animated. So, and on frame 6 it will be not animated and the physics will take over. So on here it will just start turning, and then on frame 5 going, the rigid body will start take place. So like this. So on here rigid body will not take place, but from frame 5 going you can see it will start falling. That's where the rigid body has started taking place. So that is what I want. I can move it anywhere and it will start moving at that point. So that is what I want. Now after here I'm going to press Alt+S and get that selected, and I'm going to add a force field. And for the force field I'm going to choose turbulence, and I'm going to set the mass, the mean and the mass, this one to 0.5 and the mass to maybe 1 or 1.5. And for the strength I'm going to set it to 20 and set the flow to 2, the size to 2, and flow to 1. And I'm going to give it a noise amount to maybe 5. And here you can see it is moving randomly in the scene. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select the basket, the shopping cart, and I'm going to rotate it here, and I'm going to shift D to duplicate it. So make sure you duplicate it on frame 1, and now you can select the keyframe and move it. So when this one starts coming, and this one also, so you can adjust the timeline keyframe so that they won't spawn at the same time. We can also move it somewhere. We can also decrease the scale here, like scale. So shift D and move it somewhere, and then adjust the timeline. So we can keep duplicating on frame 1 and rotate and adjusting the timeline keys. So here you can extend the rigid body simulation here. So you go to simulation, and we can go to the rigid body, and we can increase the catches to maybe frame 350. So I'm going to add on frame 350. So now when you're done and you're happy with the results, you can go to here and let's bake. Now done. So now I'm going to select the ground plane and extend it here. Since this one we have this, so I'm going to select all this and move it inside the cut here. And for this, I'm going to delete the background. I don't need that background. I just need a foreground, and I'm going to remove that indirect and that direct. I just want to render the scene and set this as shadow catcher. So now I'm going to choose GPU, and let's go to the render view. For the film, I'm going to choose transparent and transparent glass here. Let's go to the shading. Let's go to the world. So yeah, I'm going to choose HDR I have. So when we go here, we can see our HDR here. This is the HDR I'm going to use. We can press Ctrl plus T, and we can control the rotation of the environment from here, the X and Z axis. For the ground plane here, just going to move it inside this one, and the light on link. Here I'm going to add light, sunlight. I need to match the lights in here, the shadow. So for this, we are going to the world, and we can rotate this to make it match. So now here I'm going to render and see what I'll have now. So now here I'm going to choose, let me choose 50 and render and see this as a test. So now you can see this is what we have.